It was almost the end of winter. The young gnome's enthusiasm had cooled quite a bit, as the reality of Taelurien, the Black Thorn, and his everyday chores had set in again. Once more, he found himself sitting in the common room of Seljana's refuge, sipping an ale and sulking. He hated that the Black Thorn showed him no respect, especially Zuldin, who left out no opportunity to demean his younger and somewhat shorter cousin. Suddenly, he felt strong hands at his shoulders, and he looked up. Fondir looked into his eyes intently. "They don't take you seriously, Zuldin. This is your greatest weapon. They won't see you coming," he said, and did not let go, staring into the gnome's eyes. Zuldin considered this, then nodded with a weak smile. The half-elf smiled back and walked towards the bar. Somehow he always knows, Zuldin mused to himself, genuinely curious. He never thought a lot about the guildmaster. He had always been there since the first day Zuldin had visited Seljana's refuge. Yet somehow, he didn't know all that much about him. A friendly voice interrupted his thoughts. "Zuldin," Melina called, and he saw her at one of the other tables, waving, a pint of ale, and a large candle in front of her. "Coming," the gnome called back, though weaker and in a lower tone than he had intended to. He grabbed his ale and walked over, settling on a chair next to her. "All right, let's begin," she said, her eyes gleaming with anticipation. "Are you ready?" Zuldin nodded. "Good. Focus on your breathing. Once you are calm, visualize the energy within yourself as well as around you." The young gnome did as asked. They had been doing this for quite a while now, making a little more progress every time. "Good," Melina said. "Now try to bind that energy within you. Visualize it flowing through your arms and into your fingertips." As Zuldin did so, he felt a faint tingle in his hands. His eyes widened. From here, he was on his own. Melina was an evoker, not an illusionist. She had only learned to summon destructive energies, but Zuldin was more interested in deception. For this, he had read the tome he had obtained from the Black Thorn extensively, committing its teachings to memory. Create an image in your mind, and then visualize it appearing in front of you, the gnome remembered. Zuldin closed his eyes and concentrated, focusing on the image of a coin purse, the magical energy still tingling in his hands. As he opened his eyes again, his hands went through the motions described in the book, and to his amazement, he saw a coin purse materialize on the table in front of him. Melina clapped her hands. "Very good! Now that's what I call progress." Zuldin did not let up. He concentrated harder and flicked a finger. The coin purse fell to the side, spilling a few gold pieces onto the wooden table. Melina's jaw dropped. "You have a natural talent for this." Zuldin nodded, smiling and deeply satisfied. Gnomes were indeed adept at illusion magic. "Still, no sound yet," he said, and it was then that Melina noticed something had been off about the spectacle. "I will need to study some more, but this was the farthest I have ever gotten. Thank you so much for your help." "It was my pleasure, friend," Melina said warmly. They sat there together for a while and chatted, drinking ale and listening to Fondir's songs. The rest of the companions soon joined them, and as the evening wore on, the tavern closed to the public and only invited guests were allowed, all of them members of the guild. Grakuk, Thanael, Zuldin, Melina, Duros, and the others sat there expectantly as the half-elf positioned himself in front and started to speak. "Welcome, my friends," he began, his voice carrying over the din of chatter and laughter. "I'm glad to see that you have all arrived safely. We have a new mission ahead of us, and I have no doubt that we will face it with the same courage and determination that have brought us this far." The guild members cheered in response, raising their steeds in a toast, and Fondir continued. "I have intercepted communications from the Merchants Guild. They are supposed to pick up a shipment of black adamant in Obsidian Gate about a week from now." This got Zuldin's attention. They were getting the adamant from his home village? "I plan to steal this shipment. As you well know, black adamant is of superior quality, lighter and sharper than steel. It also does not reflect any light, which makes it perfect for thieves like us." There was chatter in the crowd, and many guild members nodded approvingly. "I will join this trek into the mountains personally to lead it. Zuldin, I would like you to be with us as well, to provide directions." The gnome didn't enjoy being the center of attention and looked around grumpily, but he eventually nodded. "The rest is on a voluntary basis. I will choose about 20 people to meet here 3 days from now. We start in the morning, disguised as a hunting party, and exit Taelurien through the west gate. Any questions?" There were none, and many guild members volunteered. Fondir quickly assembled his team, and after all was arranged, the patrons returned to feasting and drinking, filling the interior of the tavern with chatter, song, and the clinking of mugs. Grakuk and Thanael were among those chosen to join Fondir and Zuldin on the trek. A powerful warrior for protection and a ranger, adept in natural environments and skilled with a bow, were logical choices. Belga and Ria, the thieves they had worked with in quite a few heists, seemed like less obvious picks, but the guild did not have many fighters, and they were experienced and reliable. Lorgrim and Melina would stay behind. It appeared that, despite their prowess, Fondir preferred to keep them out of harm's way. "He's expecting trouble," Thanael said in his calm, even voice. The others looked to him questioningly. "Lorgrim crafts the supplies for the inn, and Melina is essential in helping Fondir run it," he continued. It made sense to Zuldin. "The mountain ridge can be dangerous," he said. "If you don't know how to remain unnoticed, you can easily become a snack for one of the larger predators farther up." Thanael nodded. He had to hide several times on his way to Taloen after having emerged from the Nightlands through one of the cavernous openings in the mountains. The group was a bit more silent after that exchange, wondering what awaited them and why the guildmaster took what seemed like an obvious risk. Evening turned into night, and after retiring to their quarters, the companions fell into a disquiet sleep.